Title: The Roman Army's Craziest Battle Tactics. Introduction: The Roman Empire, one of the most formidable powers in ancient history, owes much of its success to its military prowess. The Roman legions were not only well-disciplined and heavily trained, but also highly adaptive and innovative. Throughout their centuries of dominance, the Roman army employed numerous battle tactics that were not only effective, but, in some cases, truly audacious or outright bizarre. This article delves into some of the Roman army's craziest battle tactics that helped secure their place in history. 1. The testudo formation, tortoise. Perhaps one of the most iconic Roman formations, the testudo involves soldiers aligning their shields to form a nearly impenetrable barrier. The front row held their shields forward, while the sides and top rows covered the flanks and above, creating a turtle-like shell. This tactic was particularly effective against arrows and projectiles during sieges. It demonstrated the Roman military's emphasis on discipline and unity, allowing them to approach enemy fortifications under heavy fire with minimal casualties. Second, decimation, punishment as a tactic. Decimation was a brutal disciplinary tactic used to maintain order and instill fear among the ranks. If a Roman unit showed cowardice or mutiny, every 10th soldier would be executed by their comrades. Though seemingly counterproductive, this harsh measure reinforced the importance of discipline and cohesion within the ranks. It served not only as punishment, but also as a psychological tool to maintain a high standard of conduct. 3. Fake retreats and ambushes. The Romans were masters of deception. In several battles, they employed fake retreats to lure enemies into traps. One notable example is the Battle of Ilipa, 206 BCE, where Scipio Africanus pretended to follow standard procedures, but reversed his troop deployment to outflank the Carthaginians. By feigning weakness or retreat, Roman forces often drew enemies into unfavorable terrain or ambushes, leading to decisive victories. The Corvus boarding device. During the First Punic War, the Romans were at a disadvantage at sea compared to the Carthaginians. To counter this, they developed the Corvus, a boarding device with a spike that could be dropped onto enemy ships. This allowed Roman soldiers to board and engage in hand-to-hand combat, turning naval battles into land-like encounters where they excelled. Although it made ships less stable in rough seas, the Corvus gave Rome the edge they needed to challenge naval superpowers. 5. Use of war elephants. While elephants were not native to Rome, they adopted them after encountering them in battles with Pyrrhus and Epirus in Carthage. In some instances, they used captured or trained elephants to intimidate and break enemy lines. Though difficult to control, these beasts could cause chaos in enemy ranks. The psychological impact of facing such creatures was often enough to sway the tide of battle. 6. Constructing fortifications around enemy forts. Julius Caesar's siege of Alesia in 52 BCE provides a remarkable example of Roman engineering and strategic brilliance. Facing a fortified city and an incoming relief army, Caesar built a double line of fortifications, one facing the city and one facing outward to stop reinforcements. This tactic, known as circumvallation and contravallation, effectively trapped the enemy between two defensive walls, leading to their surrender. It showcased Rome's ability to combine engineering and tactical foresight. 7. Use of auxiliaries and non-Roman troops. While the Roman legions were the backbone of the army, they frequently used auxiliaries, non-Roman troops, for their specialized skills. These included archers from Crete, cavalry from Numidia, and slingers from the Balearic Islands. By incorporating diverse tactics and fighting styles, the Romans expanded their military capabilities. This use of multicultural forces demonstrated their flexibility and adaptability on the battlefield. 8. Psychological warfare and display. Romans often used fear as a weapon. Elaborate displays, terrifying war cries, and demonstrations of might were employed to demoralize opponents. For example, legions marching in perfect synchronization or showcasing their engineering feats, like bridges built overnight, struck terror into the hearts of enemies. Even their refusal to show mercy, such as in the total destruction of Carthage, served as a stark warning. 9. Siege towers and war machines. The Romans excelled at siege warfare. They built massive siege towers, battering rams, and catapults to breach city walls. These machines were often assembled on site using local materials. Their ability to construct complex machinery under duress reflected their logistical efficiency. One bizarre yet ingenious device was the Scorpion, a type of crossbow that could shoot projectiles at great speed and accuracy, used to thin out defenders on the